Hey, what's up, guys? It's gonna be another video of mine, second video on YouTube. This one's gonna be mostly about rooks. I have had a little annoyance with rooks, placing their buildings right now in their main, final destination or final last resort, final wave type of situation. Um, I'm forgetting my words already, but right now, this video is gonna be kind of lengthy. I wouldn't say fully, like my other one. It's gonna be in depth on angles. I have my MS Paint. I have a metal clip as well to show for examples, because I haven't seen that many rooks, and I've seen mostly rooks only do this for final phases. Zero tickets. I've only seen them do this, and it's just an annoyance to me. I've seen, and it's awful. My point being, I'm tired of seeing rooks place their buildings just on this side. Right here, final little phase. Oops. I hate seeing rooks just placing two little barriers right here. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a sandbag in front. Maybe a little tiny barricade there, a little tiny barricade there. Maybe some barbed wire. But I'm tired of seeing rooks just doing this too, like little tiny. Maybe something in the back as well, but it doesn't help whatsoever. This does not help. I'm tired of seeing rooks doing this, because I'm not even kidding you, from this side, a Jaeger, there's not that many peaks, unless from like right here, this little open area, which I'm assuming is going to be barricades so they don't get the angle. But if pretend I'm a Jaeger and I'm holding my smoke bomb, a single smoke bomb right there can cover up everything and can ruin the peak angles from us. And people can just charge in while you're sick and getting pushed and you can't see angles and you're getting shot at. That could ruin it. That can ruin the defense. I'm tired of seeing rooks doing that. Please stop placing the barricades back here. That's my little thing about it. Yeah, I'm gonna teach some rooks actually how to place them. You can do some other strategic way to do it if it's not that back thing. I don't mind it being there. I actually don't mind it, but if there's more barricades up front for like a final defense, it's nice for like a bulwark being in there, or some type of shock. But anyways, let's get to it. So this is Royal Nation. I know it's not the best MS Paint, of course, but you get the idea. These are going to be full pillars where you can't pen. These little inside colored ones. You get the idea. These are the peak angles. People are the most dangerous areas to where people can peek from, and this side as well from this hallway. The little brown parts. This is the open windows of the one part in the corner. The door is the gray little rectangle in the back. But anyways, you get the idea. It's a bird's eye view of it. So here's the thing. As I said before, I don't like the barricade back here. Actually, let me get a different color. I don't. Let's do green. Green as barricades. The little barricade ones for rooks. I don't like it back here. I really don't. I only like it if there's only barricades up front here as well. There's like two different things on the sides as well. Just if there's, I like this. This is good because there's one line defense and it holds both angles. And there's probably some people here, they could use a tiny barricade here, a tiny barricade there. I don't like the final one. I've seen it so many times where rooks shouldn't really do this. It's so annoying to me. It's awful. It's stupid. But this is good because the one thing also, you should place a barricade here. Maybe some barbed wire. Barbed wire up front is really nice too as well. I don't have a different color I can make it, but pretend that's barbed wire. Barbed wire right here and here on the front entrance. Like pretend there's a couple people here. Let's make a little bit of yellow guys right here. Barbed wire up front. Oops, I don't know why that turned yellow. Barbed wire right here is really good, so lancers or judgment bayonet rifle guys cannot just dash in and just charge you, or a veteran lancer can charge all three of you guys and get fucked. That's a really good barbed wire here because it really helps wise, and also place Yeah, barbed wire up front here is just really nice in general. Also, I would also place a like maybe a sandbag here as well, so you can get a peek angle off instead of them just being down here. You're just getting a good peek from here, so you can get a harder. You know, they can have more coverage when you should have more coverage up here. There also can be some guy right here. You know, maybe a storm or something, or a scout. You know, but barbed wire is really nice up front. That's all I can say. I wouldn't really say it's nice. It would probably be nice on, like, I don't know, up front on this barricade, or, you know, just for a final. It for barbed wire being behind or in front of rook barricades are nice. The only thing is I like it more behind, in my opinion, because if they here's the thing. They can whether jump over it and land on the barbed wire, or jump on it and then jump over it. So there's like a little dump, or just go around. Duh. But they probably get peeked in, you know, a window guy over here. Here's the thing. There's like a even and off about barbed wire on in front or behind rook buildings or barricades, because you know, it takes time either or, and they can get peaked more. But anyways, I'm stop that rambling of barbed wire. Sandbags in front of barricades. Actually, here's my controversial take on them. They are kind of weird. They're kind of weird. Let's park it like right here, I guess. Let's just park some right here. You know, pretend this is like the front line that I drew in MS Paint. Probably right here. This is usually what I do. It's really nice if you have 3 or 2 rooks. If you have 3 or 2 rooks, it's so nice for you to like, you know, just mix really well with your buildings. You know, because you can only have 5 of these barricades, and I forget another 5. I think 5 of those. I might be wrong actually. I forget. How many do you get? Oops. Let me test this out real quick. I actually forgot. I think it's 5, right? Yeah, 5. Okay, I was wrong. These barricades aren't bad. But anyways, back to the sandbag thing. So sandbags in front of the barricade are nice. Sandbags have the most HP, more than the barricades. It's really nice. They're kind of small. You know, you can go on top of them pretty easily. You know, they're like a staircase. Not that many people know that, actually. You know, it's a little. You can crouch and hold your helmet a little bit behind the middle one. You can also climb on it a little bit. But here's the thing: if you're on the offensive side, you can't get a peak angle at all off of this unless you're like angling left or right. But if there's like a guy with a judgment who has like marksman, or like, you know, has some type of angle, like maybe on top of the air, and can get your head, oh, that's easy picking for your head. And yeah, the only thing is you can shoot left and right. The thing is you can't shoot at all through this. Like, you can't unless somebody's above or something. So that's my controversial take on sandbags. I don't really like it in front. The thing with sandbags is I like. It's kind of you can be creative. I will say, I forgot to say, you can be really creative sandbags. Oops, stuck right in place. You can be really creative sandbags. You know, you can be on top of here. You can peek a little bit. You know, it's really nice with barricades sometimes because it's a extra. So barricades have less HP. Oh, this one goes down. You know, you were hiding behind it. Now you have a sandbag to hide behind. It's a little bit less covery, but it has more HP. There's a little thing with that. It's really nice. I like it more behind, in my opinion. You can create your own little thing about it, honestly. You can do your own thing, but just remember you can't get a peek angle out of it. I like more sandbags over here, though, in my opinion, because it's a little nice actual cover. You know, if somebody just walks in, you could just you could just 2-tap them or something. And usually they can't get a good peek off of this. Actually, they can, but usually your head's gonna be like right there, or you know, somebody's gotta be also right here. But in my opinion, you have more cover and you have some type of wall to protect you instead of this tiny ass pillar. And somebody could also peek you from that way, but either way, those barricades are going to protect you. So that's why I like it more in front. As I said, that's a great example right there. Another thing is if somebody rushes you, they have most times people don't know you can just walk over it or run over it. I don't think you can charge through it actually. Actually you might. Fuck. I guess it's a great idea to actually put barbed wire here if you think about it. Yeah. You know, they have to walk through. They can't jump. You know, they have to go sideways. That's a great little, you know, defense. It's something, so they don't walk over it. It's also a great angle to, you know, get on top, maybe do a little sneaky angle. But that's the thing. Sandbags are nice. I don't really like them on barricades. They're nice for a secondary defense, but it's not too good. But let me show you guys a great example of a great defense I've seen on metal. So we're down out of tickets. You know, this is Empire, sadly, so it's a little different. I couldn't get a good Ruination clip out of a good brick buildings. I'm gonna slow it down for you guys and show you look how, you know, barbed wire in front. You know, there's no barricades here to get a good peek angle. There's this guy on the bed because, you know, the front entrance is fully barricaded. You know, we got a vanguard in front, so he's some type of cover. Cash. You know, the sandbag right there is perfect actually, because you got the front defense as well, and the cinder block as well. I throw a little poison at him, but well, let me skip far ahead so I back up from this. Look at this defense, dude. Look at this. Right, let me go back a little bit. Look at this, dude. So this guy also put, not that many rooks put things on the table. The table thing is so nice because it protects most of you. The only thing is they can shoot your toes, but toes or legs. The leg damage is cut by 80%. It's not like full 100% damage. So it's nice in somewhat way, unless it's some type of weapon that can do a lot of damage. But it's still nice to put sandbags and a barricade there. Also, this little setup here for a final fence is really nice. So you put a tiny barricade with a big barricade in the back. This is really nice because you can stand on top of the big barricade. Let me show you actually a good example. So why can't I run the fuck? How the fuck did he do it? Oh, he did it. Oh, great. So he did it like this. He did it like this, I'm pretty sure. But it's not bad either way. So, not the best, but because he put it like really, really close. But look at this. You could sit right here. Your helmet's a little bit far up, but honestly, it's not a bad. Oh wait, might be wrong. I mean, this is probably a bad example of a weapon, but you can get somewhat of a peek. And usually, if Lancers peek out of this, you know, they can't get hit unless it's probably the shoulder or arm, or you know. But they can just shoot your helmet and waste ammo on your helmet, because not that many people know, you know, Lancer helmets stay on and stuff. Not that many privates or lieutenants know that. So they can just keep on wasting ammo on your helmet. So it's a nice Lancer placement, you know. It's a little like pillbox almost, you know. And then the little sandbag in front is really nice as well in that video. It's really nice. It's overall just, yeah, it's a great defense from what I've seen. You know, another thing, okay, so yeah, I mostly got every barricade thing, stats, and, or not stats, little notes and tips on it. But anyways, so let's go to the big part, I'll say. Supply boxes. These things are huge. They take 5 supplies, if I'm not wrong, right? Yeah, they take 5. These things are huge. Your supply box is in the wide open, right there. Right there. That sucks to get through. So, and it gives everything. It gives me supplies, it gives me everything. This is nice to give helmets back and ammo, but place them far away so people can get ammo and helmets. That's the nicest thing about it. You know, sadly, scouts can't get flares or, you know, Jesse grenade rifles. Please make it, probably not Jesse rifles, please make it to where you can get scout flares out of Rook supply caches, please, oh god. I know it'd probably make people's game lag and probably make, you know, you could spam them, but it's like a 30. I don't know how long the flares last, but please make supplies actually great, instead of just helmets and ammo. Like, come on, they take 5 supplies, dude. But anyways, sorry, my ramble. But like a good spot is like probably here or here, you know, because you're mostly in cover. Probably more here because, you know, there's a little barricade, you can get it. But or over there, you know, or back here with 2 barricades, you know, so you don't need to jump over this. You probably can. You could probably set up a barricade right here as well, so you don't get fully shot. But make sure the angles from the supply boxes are fully covered. That's another thing. Like, make sure it's like, oh, you have a barricade up here, you know. It could probably shoot you when you jump over and all. Makes sense. Or shoot you from the tiny angle. But it's more overall better if you have this covered, and this covered. And just overall, you need the supply box fully covered as a Rook. It's really nice. And just having both. Sometimes you might have, you know, I really wish it was the Rook buildings were like Jaeger traps where they disappear if you place one too many, and you know you can respawn it, or you could destroy it somehow. I don't know. That's probably a little overboard, but in my opinion, if you just have one, that's fine. If you have 2, that's really good for your teammates for support overall. But if you have 2, one there, maybe I don't know, maybe one back here, but is really nice overall. Depending if you don't have a front defense, you might as well place one back here, the supply box. But I could talk a lot bit more about defensive wise. Yeah, I don't know. Most you could be really creative, as I said, really, but most overall, make your front line defense, make your angles, defend every angle you can think they can come from, and place your supply boxes right. I'm tired of just seeing a final defense, as I said, but let's go back to MS Paint for 1 second. So I might have gotten the MS Paint wrong. I just realized this is Royal Nation. So sorry for lore fans. So let's go over this. So, you know, that's the big turntable. I know it's a little text box. Shh, don't worry about it. This is supplies. I didn't really put the supplies button. Beds, you know, cinder block or concrete pillar. So those you really can't shoot through at all. You know that. I don't think you can with any other weapon, I think. But anyways, so this one's, I will say, purple is more easier of a side to barricade. It's so much easier. It's so much easier, I would say 100%. There's a lot more room you can do in this corner. There's not that much on this side, but yeah, supplies. Only thing about the supplies, I will say, supplies is it's a little bit easier than being out front, you know, in front of the angles. But this thing, you have to jump over, and can you get through the wall? I can. I didn't realize that. But well, the thing is, everything is so wide open. That's the thing about it. So let's go back to the MS Paint. So most likely you will need a front defense. Front barricades are really nice, you know, just like in the video. But you know, front side, left side, right side. You know, maybe a tiny one, and then on top of the tables is really nice as well. Barbed wire, of course, up from front. Just overall, I've never seen that many Rooks do this. I've never seen that many. Maybe a couple, but it's a rare show, but not that many. You know, maybe a little supply depot right here, another one right here is really nice. Maybe one back here, so you don't need to go across. One final defense, one right here. You know, it's like chess. Or I've never played chess, actually. I've never played chess, but let's say Stratego, that one board game. But anyways, that's a really nice defense. Overall, should probably be a sandbag here, you know, to get over and take a little nice peek. You know, probably a little barricade here, so you can, you know, I wish I could make it an angle, but anyways. So I don't know. I've said a lot over the yellow team. Yellow team's pretty easy. Or I said a lot about it. This is kind of the same thing. It's just a square pattern of all angles, you know, left, right, middle. I've just mostly seen, you know, just find a fence in the two corners that will instantly kill you if there's a single Jaeger that smokes it. You know, a single Jaeger of Survivalist with two smoke grenades will ruin this. Same with Jesse rifles. Jesse rifles ruin the corner. If, you know, if there's a little team that's going a little goblin mode and just shooting volleys of Jesse's in the corner, you're fucked. That's the thing. So never go the final destination route with just the final defense here. So please make a little square like this. Barbed wire up front. I wouldn't put oh yeah. So I talked about the lancers or the bayonet judgments running in and probably getting trapped with barbed wire. For these two corners, I would say it's a little bit harder for them to do it. Mostly because, you know, they can't really charge into this. They can't. And they can't, you know, they can't do that. They can over here, so you might as well place a barbed wire trap right there. For this, some weapons can shoot through, I think, and shoot your helmet. It's kind of hard to shoot through it, I would say, but it's overall not bad. Another tip I've had and seen from myself is placing a sandbag here. It's a little sketchy, and people can't get in front, but you can get the good angle. You know, take a little peek. If there's barricades right here and barricade up front, you can totally take this peek. Only if there's another rook or yourself, just put it right there. So overall, it's not a bad stop. Little, you know, barricade. I've seen also is, you know, if there's a barricade here. A second here. This is also not a bad stop here. And then a little sandbag right here. If I could. This is not a bad defense right here. This is easy. Easy little tiny defense. You know, they have to go over the beds. You know, you have to jump over the beds. You know, get caught on something. You know, it's kind of annoying. Maybe if there's a quick double dog lancer, it's probably annoying. So, this is not a bad one. Also, a good part about it is just the peak angle you can get on this on the left side. You know, it's hard to get the left side a little bit. Right side, not so much. You can get here, maybe a little tiny little, you know, goblin peak right there. The tabletops is kind of a weird one, but it works actually really well. Not that many people do this. Not many people do this. I've not seen that many rooks do it on top of the table. I've mostly seen most of them place it back here. Sure, it's a nice defense, but honestly, you could really just put here and here, and it would cover a lot if you're on top. And if somebody's taking like a hard peek right here, you know, it's gonna be hard for the left side or the right side over there, the peak angle, to hit a headshot or something. It's gonna be almost impossible. It's a good defense right there. I would also place another one right here if you can. Oh, actually, I don't know the setup. Oh, this is not a bad setup. This is not a bad setup at all. Right here. The only thing is they can, you know, slide on in, but there's probably gonna be a Jaeger trap right here or something. That's where all the Jaegers place their traps sometimes. Sometimes they, you know, they place it over there. But this is not a bad side-to-side angle or side-to-side defense. You know, you might need a rook to place another one up front and another one here. But overall, this is an easy setup. It's not the hardest thing in the world. It's really not. I don't know why rook's placed in the final defense. You know, barbed wire is really nice here. You probably don't, because most of the time, that's a little peak angle. Most of the times, you know, they're probably just gonna break it with a rifle or something. But who would waste their ammo on barbed wire? You know, who would? So yeah, on this site, this is not this is pretty easy. It's kind of sketchy to get an angle like here, but you have the back defense at least, unless they shoot your toes or something, some weird angle. But most of the stools do count as cover. They can accidentally shoot the stool unless they have enough high pen weapon, which is mostly all the weapons in Gravedigger. So, you know, they could probably shoot through it, but it's something, you know. And sometimes it's hard to shoot through these because there's another row of stools. So, anyways, let's stop on the tiny details. I usually don't like people peeking from this angle, like right here. There are some. There's some Jaegers or something that throw smoke out in there, but usually just place over here. There's probably an AT rifle that'll take that down instantly, and usually it's a sketchy peek because there's probably a guy right there or there. You know, there might be a Vanguard, but overall, just make a tiny defense right there. I don't know anything else you could do with this side because there are some people that shoot through this and get a good hit. And I think you could place a sandbag here. I probably don't know that. Oh, I do. There are people. Hello. Jeez. There are some people that get like, you know, little sandbag angle right here. This is not a bad spot, so you can actually shoot through this and get a good shot off of them. So it's not bad, you know, little climb over to get a good peek. But it's kind of sketchy. But take a shot. I don't know. Overall, nation or purple. Don't ask me. It is a way easier defense than yellow. Don't ask me. This, you know, I don't know. It's kind of an easy video. I'm probably gonna make more. I can't wait for the final campaign full update. I heard it's actually a little quick talk, I guess, or off the topic of the main video, but I heard it's gonna be it's not gonna be PvE. It's not an actual campaign. It's gonna be the default game mode, which is kind of cool. I don't mind that. I don't mind it. It's kind of cool. It's gonna be like other military, like, you know, low popular military games where I forget what it was really based off of on this one military like World War I game, but it's like points. And every time you win, you know, yada yada yada. But pretty much, each win makes a story point of the game. You can take over regions. You know, there's like 5 wins you have to make to actually, you know, win the war and shit. I don't know what it's gonna be like, honestly. I hope they release new weapons. I hope they, you know, release something cool out of it. There's probably gonna be. I hope people finish up that Easter egg that we haven't solved. But anyways, yeah. Send me friend requests on Roblox. Send me anything. Send me clips of like Rook buildings you've seen, Rook tips, or Rook like cool little Rook buildings you've seen that are really cool and actually help the defense or offensive side. Please buff Rook, honestly. There's not that much you can do with him on attack or defense, or mostly attack. Mostly offensive game modes you can, like train, you can definitely defend or attack with it. Flat point is a really good compound to defend on with Rook, I'll say that. So, I don't know, have a Rook uprising, I guess, on this video if you want. I don't know. I'm kind of glazing this video, honestly, when I have 0 viewers. But, or not 0 viewers, I think a couple, but anyways. But yeah, I might make more videos. I don't know anything about. I got no ideas left. But anyways, sorry about my blabber. Like and subscribe, I guess. But anyways, see ya.